Art Detectives, the new Acorn TV original series, follows two art-loving detectives who solve murders connected in the world of arts and antiques. Actor and executive producer Stephen Moyer here to chat all about it. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Rudy. Lovely to be here.
When you think about the world of art, I mean, there's a lot of money and a lot at stake, and some of these situations can get pretty complicated.
Yes, and people, as we know within the world, will do a lot to make money and to cash in on relatives' hoards, shall we say? So there's and it was actually really interesting researching this, because as I started to sort of research different bits and pieces and different forgeries and different thieveries of like galleries and stuff like that over the years, once you sort of set up a Google alert for something like that, they are daily.
Yeah.
It's global, daily. So we were inundated with different types of things that we could use within the series, and we tried not to repeat ourselves, at any point.
Yeah, I mean, talk a little bit about your love of art and your role as executive producer. So not just being on the screen, reading the pages, but also taking a part in the creation of this the series.
When it came to me, there's a lot of British crime drama, as you well know, as well as the Scandi crime world. The British crime sort of it tends to be slightly more cozy and less dark than the Nordic stuff. But I had never seen anything based in the art world, so I was really interested in that. And when it came to me, there's certain tropes within a detective series that that characters have been through, and sometimes it's a difficult relationship with a partner, or a difficult relationship with a daughter or a son, or maybe one of those has left, or whatever it is. And so we tried to sort of come up with an interesting version of dealing with whatever my character's trauma was. And part of it is this sort of combative relationship with his dad. We learn that Ron, who is my character's father, is a very celebrated art forger. And my character has grown up surrounded by people forging this art. And I've gone in a very different way, which has upset my father. But 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 of course, he kind of wouldn't be who he is without his father. So he has an appreciation of art and an appreciation of the meticulous nature of being an artist, that has made him who he is, even though the relationship between him and his father is difficult.
I mean, how fun was that to be able to play this role and this complicated father-son relationship with someone who's actually, one of your friends?
Very dear friend. And we'd always wanted to play father and son. We did a movie together 25 years ago where we weren't playing that, but I'd always wanted to. And so when this came up, and as I say, like, to begin with, the character was not the father character wasn't in the original script that I saw, but we sort of developed it. And as soon as I suggested Larry for it, the producers would like, there's no way we'll get Larry Lamb to play this part. And I went, let me text him. And of course, I got a text straight back, where do I come, son? Where do I meet you? And he signed up that day. And so that was joyous. But also he's a brilliant actor. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things where we lucked out hugely.
I want to talk a little bit about the police unit, because obviously this can be complicated, and it's not just a one-person job. But in the series, you're a one-man team to begin with.
Yeah, so it's based on a true life department within the UK. It's the smallest police department in the whole of the British police force. It's a three-man team. And but in our version, what the producers thought would be really interesting was to make it a one-man team. So in the first episode, he meets a young police constable who is investigating on behalf of the local police force where my character's gone to. And he takes a shine to her because he sees that she's diligent and brilliant, and also sort of having quite a difficult relationship with her boss, who's sort of misogynistic and awful. And so he offers her the opportunity to come and work with him. So he doubles the size of the heritage crime unit.
That is awesome. As far as some of the storylines, because we're going to get one that's all about the Titanic, which I just love that history just continues to go on and the fascination with that. But talk a little bit about that episode and maybe some of the other themes that we're going to see.
Yeah. We shot the whole series in Northern Ireland, and Northern Ireland looks, and the countryside is breathtaking, but it looks like a lot of the UK. So we were able to, the whole show is set in the UK, apart from episode 5, which is set in Belfast, where we were shooting. And not a lot of people know this, to quote Michael Caine, but Belfast is where the Titanic was built. And there's a really wonderful museum to the Titanic, and right in the center of Belfast. And so our episode is about artifacts from the Titanic. Anything that's come up from, beneath the surface, as you well know, is worth hundreds of thousands of pounds/dollars. And so somebody, I won't say who, but somebody within that story is not telling the truth about some of their artifacts. And so my character is brought over to Belfast to try and work out whether they can identify to see whether the plates are real or whether they're forgeries, and thus the drama ensues.
And we'll have to wait and watch it to see how it all plays out, right?
Yeah.
Well, 100%. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for your time today. Art Detectives premieres June 9th on Acorn TV.
Thanks, Rudy.
Thank you so much.